The new EW promo photos for the final season of Game of Thrones has me really nervous for a few people. Warning, spoilers for the final season of Game of Thrones. Please don't watch if you don't want to hear spoilers. Or if you're a Johnsa shipper. Or if you're from Texas. You know what you did, Texas. I will never forgive you. So EW released some photos that were promotional for the final season of Game of Thrones, and while the location doesn't really matter, they just did it in the massive King's Landing set they built for the final season, the captions with the photos may actually give us clues about the final season. You know me. You know my tinfoil. I love it. I want to start with Euron and Cersei's photos, though they were done separately because they come together nicely. On Cersei, we see written, "As usual with Cersei, she's trapped in a web of her own making." That caption makes sense since her own manipulations have put her in this position. She was directly responsible for the shenanigans with the Faith Militant, and I'm not saying she made her son commit suicide, but she greatly helped with her son committing suicide. I know suicide is very touchy. She helped create circumstances that perhaps pushed her son over the edge. But Cersei's caption is made even more telling with the caption under Euron's photo. Euron wants to become king of the Seven Kingdoms, yet he's also blackmailing Cersei. So I talked about my theory in the trailer breakdown that Cersei was actually crying in the trailer because she realized despite having one of the most powerful positions in the Seven Kingdoms, she's still not free to love who she wants and marry who she wants. Cersei has also bitched and moaned that she wasn't born with a penis, and if she had, everything would be hers. She was then high on that power when she took the throne. However, this season, everything is going to turn to ashes in her mouth. She's going to realize regardless of what is between your legs, in their society, no one is ever truly free. I have a feeling Euron is going to use the Golden Company or his own forces to pressure her into marrying him, making it a go alone, I take my forces, and not many will follow you. I marry you, people see me by your side, which would ease people for obvious reasons, even though the Ironborn don't have the best reputation, and you have my forces. There's also a shit ton Euron could blackmail her for to get her to marry him so he could become the king of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but I think it would be poetic in a way for Cersei to marry him, he becomes the king, and then he just chokes the fuck out of her. A younger sibling killing her matches the prophecy. If we're even doing that in the show anymore. And we know Euron doesn't have a problem with kinslaying, even though I guess she would just be his kin through marriage. Before I move on, I love Euron's eyeliner and pose. I think he's usually really over the top, but I like this picture. On the photo of Sansa and Arya together, which, man, do they look fabulous together. You don't get to see them with that much makeup on usually, which makes sense in the show, so they look even more incredible here. The caption for their photo is interesting, Sophie said, "Sansa this season is very much enjoying being a leader in her own right, and this year there are certain challenges by people who threaten that." This caption isn't really revealing because what doesn't threaten that this season? She has Dany, the Night King, and his army, and then backstabby Cersei. There's a lot of threats this final season. But I'm happy she's becoming more of a leader and not a helpless victim. And I am still loving the Sansa armor. I never thought I would say that. Maisie's blurb is actually sad. There's this split with Arya between trying to be who she wants to be, getting back to that naivete and innocence with her family, and her unfinished business. This caption fits in with what Maisie said in an interview a few years ago, saying Arya will never be the same and it would be hard for Arya to fit back in with her family. We're now seeing that struggle. Arya has something she wants done and she might have to choose between completing the list or saving her family. If we're lucky, those two will actually be the same thing. Jon and Dany's photo was cute. I don't say that often about Jon and Dany together, so wow. I have said this before, but I just love how in love and smug Dany looks, and Jon just is always so somber. Kit's caption for Jon says, "The end of the world might be coming soon, but at least he's in love with somebody and knows who he is." And then comes a sledgehammer. This caption is obvious. That whole knowing who he is going to be ripped out from under his feet with the reveal of who his biological parents are. I really hope Jon thinks back to what he told Theon.
You don't need to choose. You're a Greyjoy. and you're stuck.
And realizes that applies for him too. You don't have to choose. Be both. You are both. I mean, Jon is more so both in this scenario than Theon was. Jon actually has the blood of both in him. Although the banging of his aunt, knocking her up, and having a bastard, something he never wanted to do, could be the sledgehammer too. Or, you know, the undead coming and fucking shit up. If you didn't think Dany was going to die this season, here is more confirmation. Amelia's caption for Dany says, "There's so much she's seen and witnessed and been through and lost and suffered and hurt. She's been working for this her entire existence." Why is this caption confirmation? Well, D&D can't resist making someone that worked their entire life and suffered their entire life for a certain goal die before they reach it and have to entrust it or give it to someone else. It's a dick move. Therefore, it's a D&D move. I love the photo of Jaime and Tyrion. One, it's just nice to see the brothers together again. Something we'll obviously see more this season with Jaime heading to Winterfell. Peter talked about his character captioning the Tyrion photo. Tyrion is trying to figure out who he really is in this storm of negotiations. This caption says what people have been speculating about. Being on Dany's side against his brother and sister has been really hard for him. We saw how conflicted he was last season, and now things are really coming to a head. He might also get pressure from Jaime, asking him if he is more loyal to Dany or his own blood. What if Tyrion tries to place Jaime in a location to keep him safe during the battle at Winterfell? Or goes against Dany's orders to ensure Jaime doesn't die? Jaime's actor said on his character, "Jaime is choosing to do what he believes is right." The only thing this caption makes me think is, please, God, don't let him go back to Cersei unless he has to kill her. Don't go back, Jaime. Don't go back. This caption is just saying that Jaime left Cersei to go to the north to fight for the living, which we also heard him say in the trailer. Here's something a lot of us will be glad about. Bran is less emotionless this season, which I think a lot of us predicted because we knew he would be a bit more adjusted to all the new information and his abilities. He was just overwhelmed last season, which unfortunately led to a very cold send-off of Mira. Isaac captioned his character's photo, "We see a slightly wiser Bran this year, who's less like robot overload." This caption makes me so happy. I'm also so stoked to see the range of Bran's powers and what he does during the battle at Winterfell. If he doesn't warg some things and murder the shit out of the undead, well, re-murder, I'd rage. I want Sage Bran with all this knowledge and power. He's still gonna be a little distant, who wouldn't be with what he has to do and his abilities, but he also remembers and feels more of his old self. And again, please let him work things and go ape shit on the whites in the battle. Next, let's go to Jorah's photo with Ian's caption. "He's been given the greatest challenges around Dany. He'll be tested like never before." This caption actually has me hoping he survives the great battle at Winterfell, but then goes with Dany to Dragonstone when she is too pregnant to fight, and then he watches her die in childbirth, and she tasks him with watching over her and Jon's child. Just to twist that friendzone knife as far as she can. I think it would be so hard for Jorah to stay out of the fighting for the living and to be by Dany's side, waiting and then watching her die. Or Jorah just doesn't get a break. Sam and Gilly's photos are adorable. Gilly has this slight smile in all her promo photos. I keep saying because anything is better than her life before Sam, but we'll see. I just love her little smile. I think Gilly makes it to the end, and I'm glad her character has some levity to her. John Bradley's caption for his character says, "Sam is really feeling the responsibility of this information, but he knows Jon would rather hear this from Sam than anybody else." I was wondering if Bran or Sam was going to tell Jon, but now I'm leaning more towards Sam. I'm sure Bran will fill in some of the blanks as well, though. Also, I'm really trying not to be mean, but I don't think John Bradley is giving the smolder look that he thinks he's giving. Theon's photo and caption is pretty boring. There are choices to be made, and a coming together. Pretty sure coming together is all the characters that are coming together this season, and the choices probably him killing Euron and Yara dying during the encounter. I really wonder how much we'll focus on Theon's mission to rescue his sister this season. Personally, I'd love for him and Yara to kill Euron together, and then die together. I know, I'm such a happy person. Brienne's photo caption was also kind of boring. This is a season where Brienne's gender is really no longer an issue. She's treated as an equal by all. Which, who was gonna give her shit about being a woman when they're fighting the undead and their king said everyone fights? Males and females. Lyanna Mormont already shut that whining down. Continuing on the generic boring answer, Melisandre's actress said, she is on a mission this season. Which, of course she is. She always has been. She went to Essos for a reason. Reinforcements to deal with the others. Okay, actually, Davos's photo was also captioned pretty boring-like. Liam said, this is what people have been waiting for over the years. Yeah. No shit. We still love you though, Davos. /Liam. A little more interesting, Grey Worm and Missandei. Jacob said generically, the chances of anyone surviving are remote, and they're aware of that. Which, yeah, duh. Missandei's actress said, Grey Worm is the thing she wants to live for. They've got this lovely bond that is worth fighting for. Okay, does that not scream that Grey Worm dies this season? Originally, I thought it was going to be Missandei as a kind of twist, because we expect Grey Worm to die. He keeps going into battle where Missandei stays out of the thick of it. But with her saying that, wow, Grey Worm is super dead. Not regular dead, super dead. Lastly, we just got official confirmation that Clegane Bowl is happening. Rory, the Hound's actor, said, there will be a chance of squaring up to his brother and facing those demons. Oh, it's happening. 100% confirmed. Fight me. Oh, and the Mountains caption was just dots, which is hilarious and so clever. Alright, there you go. Like, subscribe, and $10 says the On Mountain is lit on fire at some point by the Hound. It's gonna happen.